My name is Megha Iyer, Associate Editor of EPR Magazine, and we welcome you to an interactive power talk in pursuit of energy excellence. My colleague Ms. Harcha Bhaskar is here to introduce you to the panelists and to moderate the session. So delegates, let's sit back and enjoy this special interactive power talk. I welcome Ms. Harcha.
Thank you, Megha. The Indian electricity sector is changing rapidly, revitalizing the country's power generation, transmission and distribution sectors. With the adoption of automation, digitalisation and decarbonisation, we are witnessing significant transformation in our power sector infrastructure. Moreover, power infrastructure companies are adopting AI, machine learning, and data analytics to create an innovative, intelligent, and reliable electrical grid. All this further demand investment in intelligent products, technologies, energy storage, battery technologies, and energy management to have innovative power, cybersecurity, and electric vehicle, among others. On that note, EPR is hosting a live power talk on In Pursuit of Energy Excellence. Energy experts, utility providers, energy storage providers, and energy management companies will analyze the eventual need of energy management technologies and systems in coming years during this 90-minute session. Furthermore, we will assess how efficient energy management system can help reshape India's future energy goals. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor and privilege for me to introduce you to our today's distinguished speakers. Mr. Vikram Gandotra, Member, NEC and Chairperson, Public Policy Committee, Chairperson, World Utility Summit 2023, IEEMA. Mr. Munish Mishra, Business Director, Manav Energy. Mr. Shantanu Srivastava, Energy Finance Analyst, IEEFA. Mr. Amit Gupta, President, Motion Service, ABB, India Limited.
To start, I would like to start with you, Mr. Vikram. You mentioned of green hydrogen, and as per reports, it said that we need minimum 5 tons of green hydrogen to become energy independent, hydrogen energy generation. And in the recent news also says that the government is considering PLI scheme to bring PLI scheme for green hydrogen. So what are your views on this if this is implemented?
If you look at the characteristics of renewable energy and you look at the characteristics of hydrogen, it is my personal view that they are made for each other. And if we are able to make the coupling which is required in such a way that this is used, then we have the potential in India to be one of the global leaders to produce green hydrogen, and not just produce but even become one of the exporters for this. So I am pretty bullish about it. Of course, there are a lot of obstacles and a lot of steps, finance being one, technology being another. But when we look at the energy scenario, we never look at it in the 1 or 2 years time frame. We take minimum a decade or 2 decades look at it, and this is where I'm pretty optimistic that this will be a very good solution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vikram, for sharing your expertise on this particular part.
So, I have a small query from Mr. Vikram. So, Vikram, as you rightly said that yes, hydrogen generation is coming a big way, but I understand there are challenges both in transmission and handling, safe handling. What do you have to say on that?
To hydrogen, of course, hydrogen has the challenges like you have mentioned about transportation. And hydrogen is not really a source of energy. Hydrogen is a means of transporting the energy. That is how we should look at it. And of course, the first use case which will be there will not be in terms of electricity. It will be mostly in changing the way the feedstock which is going into processes like chemicals, fertilizer, where it will be used. And it will be definitely a challenge for transportation. It will be definitely a challenge for financing, no doubt about it. But when we look at it in the long run, it is an ideal solution for transporting the storing and transporting the variable energy which is there coming from renewables.
Thank you so much, Mr. Munish, for taking up that particular point. Mr. Shantanu, even in your presentation also, you very well summarized the need for battery energy storage. So with this latest developments, what kind of potentials do you see for the utilities and for the battery manufacturers?
So, talking specifically from a green hydrogen perspective, I think India to develop green hydrogen ecosystem is extremely important. And, I probably, if I can just break down the green hydrogen value chain into different parts. The first part is the electrolyzer manufacturing. The second part is, green hydrogen manufacturing through electrolyzers. Third part is the infrastructure, which you use for transporting or disseminating that produced green hydrogen. Fourth part is producing, equipment or technology which will help you, use that green hydrogen in the first place. Across the value chain, we need interventions like the PLI scheme to make them feasible, to de-risk these investments. And I think definitely, like we've seen PLI getting a lot of traction in, modern manufacturing, like we've seen that in battery manufacturing. I think there is going to be a lot of interest from industry players in electrolyzer manufacturing also. So that's a very big positive. I think when you talk about battery manufacturing and how that would complement India's green hydrogen production goals, I think it's somewhere around 5 million tons by 2030. I think because green hydrogen production relies a lot on cheap, renewable energy production, right? That's a prerequisite. Somewhere around 70 to 75% of the cost of green hydrogen rests on, the electricity cost. And there are, because intermittency is a basic feature of renewable energy sources. So it would be important for green hydrogen to become competitive, to have renewable energy integrated along with battery storage, so that you can store the energy when during the off-peak demand, and use that particular energy for producing green hydrogen during off-peak demand or during the peak demand periods. So I think that is where the role of battery storage is very important, because to increase the utilization rates of the electrolyzer, that particular infrastructure, you want to use that across the day, and to use that across the day, you would want renewable energy to be produced across the day. For that, you need battery energy storage systems to be integrated along with RE, and that is where I think there is going to be demand from, that's going to be a supply side driver for battery energy storage integration going forward. So that's how it's going to complement green hydrogen. Hope I answered the question.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Shantanu, for sharing the details of this particular part. Coming to Mr. Munish, your submission was about power cost. You mentioned very key things. So how do you look at the issues faced by the utilities from a maintenance perspective?
So maintenance, if you happen to see the cost cycle of any equipment, lot of one is the fixed cost when you install it. Over the years, you have been running this equipment for years together. Although there is a maintenance schedule, but in between these maintenance schedules also, these equipment tend to break down because of reliability issues, because of issues related to improper maintenance, improper quality of equipment and other things. So now if this maintenance is done periodically again and again without actually understanding what is going wrong where, so what actually you are doing is you are having the data but you are not able to analyze it, what went wrong, and you are just simply replacing the equipment and bringing back the machine and waiting for another day to fail. My point here is, one, if we have these online systems, suppose we, as I talked about, a transformer test or a CT testing or a PT test, we have to take this out of grid. Now if you have these leakage current monitors and online monitors which can actually scan the equipment online and give you the test results, so you don't have to take them off the grid and then bring them back. So actually you are actually enhancing the production, reducing the downtime and availability of the equipment. So overall it is a win-win situation for the utility operator as well as the country. So that is my perspective in terms of reducing O&M cost.
Thank you so much, Mr. Munish, for your views and your sharing your expertise with us. Mr. Amit, how is the industrial segment responding or complying to the need for energy efficient and cost efficient equipments and drivers in the power sector?
I would say there are rather further divided into two parts. One is, of course, the compliance, and another is the need for that particular industry or for that particular user. Of course, if you are looking at the statistics and more and more digital layers coming in, end users and the consumers are being able to analyze what is happening at their premises, what is happening in their processes, what is happening in their overall consumption, energy consumption pattern. So in that perhaps that is an eye opener for them, that a lot of energies is being wasted throughout the value chain of the consumption, through the entire powertrain of the consumption. So hence that is the one sensitization happened almost in last few years, and it is very promptly happening with the new generation coming in. They are also looking more into the digitalization piece and having a more and more intelligence about it. Even from the regulation point of view, from the compliance point of view, from the regulation point of view, world is moving towards that direction. And I was sharing that as well during my deliberation, that is also very important, and regulatory bodies are also driving it, but at the same time they're also restricting it sometimes, because then since, say for example, in India they have said that it is a IE2 motor which is important, and that is the bare minimum thing. So if the consumers and end users are not so intelligent or not so aware about their energy consumption pattern, they restrict themselves to the IE2, because that is what bare minimum is required. So hence from that perspective, it is actually also making us the complacent one, or making it restrictive about it. So hence it is more important. And I think since Europe is also moving already into that direction, and of course we are sure that Indian regulation authorities and bodies will definitely looking into that pattern, so they will also drive it towards more efficient systems. So once that will be happening more and more, I believe those compliances will happen. And as a consumer, those are also one of the drivers. Another driver is, of course, the need. Because generally a saying is that whatever energy we are saving, it is actually, in a way, it is we are earning rupees or dollars coming against it. So, of course, for sure, if we are saving the energies, we are always cutting down on our consumer bills, which are already having a high skyrocketing price increases in last couple of years. So energy, from that perspective, industries is looking at it in a very sensitive way, and then almost everywhere, I would say that the industry is looking towards investments in that direction, and their investors also very much making a good ecosystem for making it overall efficiency into the process, into the system. And again, I would repeat that it is not alone the equipment, it is the complete process side, equipment side, and the people around it has to be looked at from this with the intelligent layer of digital. So that is what I can see and my take on it, Megha. I hope I am clear about it.
Yes, totally, sir. It's going to be a joint effort from everyone for the benefits of everyone, the entire industry and for the users, everyone. So, Mr. Vikram, coming to you, now that we are shifting towards a smart and environmental friendly power sector in terms of transition, so how will this address the issues about emissions generated at the plant level?
We have to understand that the newer generations are more aware about the energy value chain. They are more aware about the emissions, and they are also, to my mind, more liberal in terms of their spending for a greener and environmentally friendly purchase of whatever they are purchasing today. So as compared to our previous, because for the previous generation there was never this challenge which was there in the radar, and there was always, even my generation, we were always more, let me say, not so liberal with incomes and the money which was available. So my feeling is that the newer generations, they will be more receptive towards technologies which are going to be environment friendly. However, there is one catch for the power sector. The power sector is a highly regulated sector where all the tariffs are governed by the regulatory commissions, and they are somehow not running at the same speed as what rest of the industry is, and the utilities need to be guided, as well as the regulatory commission also need to be a little bit more sensitized, that even for, say, environment friendly in technologies, green technologies, climate technology, sustainable technologies, whatever additional cost may be needed, that should be allowed. As we have seen today in the renewable sector, the prices per unit have come down drastically and they are better than fossil fuels. However, there is of course a catch in it, because that is, the energy is always seeing should be seen whenever it is compared, available when needed, and also at where and at what time. Yeah, so it is not really a commodity which can be stored. It is not a commodity which can be kept in somebody's stock and I will use it later. Till of course battery storage or other modes of storage are more widely in. So these are the few things which I think will play a very important role in the coming time. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Mr. Munish, what is your take on it? What would you like to add to what Mr. Vikram just mentioned?
No, absolutely. I fully agree with Vikram, because the generation today is very, very sensitive. And yes, they are bothered not for the end product, they are bothered about the process, how that end product is actually made, or how the electricity is finally coming to their residence or office. So yes, I fully agree with Vikram's deliberation. Nice one, Vikram. Yes, you put it very appropriately.
Thank you so much, Mr. Munish. We would have taken this discussion even more, but we are almost on the verge of end of today's session. Mr. Amit, can I please request you to make a closing statement for today's session?
Thanks, Megha. And in fact, it was really an engrossing discussion. And in fact, given all of us, even the panelists also have different insight, because the deliberations were very wide across, though coming under the common umbrella of sustainability, energy efficiency, making it ourselves more efficient, more accurate in all the dimensions which we are looking at it, and becoming more and more resilient and responsible for coming future. So I think I really am thankful to Mr. Vikram, who has a huge amount of experience with him, Mr. Munish, who has a very, I would say, deep knowledge about the subject on various areas, and of course Shantanu has had given a different perspective of how the financial things pays into the technology side, and how this kind of it will go hand in hand going forward. So, and that is also a very important piece of our sustainability pillar. So I'm really glad to be a part of it, and thankful to the EPR Magazine as well on that, and nicely have it. And I think it makes more responsibility for all of us to make it more important, even including all our audience, so that we will remain, I would say, sensitive about it, gather more and more information, knowledge on coming times, because it is as a citizen, as a basic Indian citizen, that is our responsibility to contribute by saving energy, by making it more and more energy efficient. And since today's topic was very apt for things, we have to become more responsible for future generations, which is, in any case, I think Mr. Vikram and Munish said that they are much smarter and much, I would say, caring about their future. So I think it's our responsibility to make it good for coming future. Thanks a lot, Megha, for organizing, and this is really I'm thankful for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Amit. Of course, we need more awareness and education in the industry and the users to successfully implement these efforts in this power sector. Moving ahead, I would like to invite my colleague Ms. Harcha to take this forward with a closing statement for today's session.
Thank you, panelists, for sharing your valuable thoughts on In Pursuit of Smartness. We hope you all have enjoyed the session before. Wrapping up the session, we would like to thank our distinguished panelists, Mr. Shantanu Srivastav, Mr. Vikram Kandotra, Mr. Munish Mishra, Mr. Amit Gupta. I would also like to thank our associate editor, Ms. Megha Iyer. You can follow our social media pages to get more updates from EPR Magazine. Also, our application is available on Google Play App Store for enhanced reading. With this, we would like to announce the closing of today's session. I request you all to stay tuned for more such sessions. Thank you and goodbye.